Just curious, Jacob, the way that game played out, first half was really tough for you guys. Just what made Vancouver in the way that they attacked you and kind of threw numbers forward like that?
I think, to be honest, we kind of brought most of it upon ourselves. I think we initially played long instead of having the confidence to build out, as well as when we did go long, we didn't pick up first or second balls early on in the first half, and that kind of set the tone for them. And from then on, we were chasing. Obviously, we'd want to start on the front foot next time, and if we do go long like that, win first and second balls, and that's the job of not only myself to start for sure, but the whole team. And yeah, I think that set the tone for the game for Vancouver.
Next question will go to Thad Bell with the Kansas City Soccer Journal. Thad, your line is open.
Hey, sorry for the result. There's been a few games where coach will drop you into the middle of the back line and kind of the game state changes at that, but a lot of things change, and it seems like there's a little better possession at that point. How does it change for you when you're in that kind of position?
I think obviously it depends on the game, and coach put me in the back, and I was able to, I guess, hopefully connect more passes and try to get us going forward. I think our midfield, like Zoe and Rado, and as well as Memo and Jake, came on and did a great job of moving the ball around and giving us chances going forward. And my job in that part of the game, when I drop in the back, I try to get the balls to those guys so they can create, and they did towards the end. Hopefully we can just do it starting in the first half going forward.
Jacob, thank you very much for the time tonight.
Thank you.
Just this is a good Vancouver team and a tough place to play. What did they do tonight that made it so difficult for you guys, especially in that first half?
Well, as you mentioned, they're a good team. They're a balanced team. They make it very difficult defensively, and that sets them up for the rest of the game. I thought they won a lot of second balls within the game. Part of that was our doing in playing direct, which we wanted to try to get in behind them, but it wasn't just that. It was offset pieces, goal kicks. They established themselves in the game in a better way. And for large portions of it, we're threatening in and around the goal in the first half. And so we were on the back foot, and we wanted to be on the front foot. Although we started the game in a decent way, we just couldn't command control of it. But as you said, it's a difficult place to play, and it's a tough team to play against, and you'll have to withstand some of that pressure that they had in the first half. Unfortunately, we gave up two goals that were preventable, and we go into half 2-0. And so, again, we have to make some tactical changes within the game, and it shifted the game in a decent way for us in the second half. And I thought that we were going to get a goal, midway through that half. I thought we got good pressure on them, and we had really good looks at the goal. And so, but once again, it's a story of the first half, not being able to gain control of that, which did us in against a good team tonight.
I wanted to ask you about the change there, because we've seen you make the change to that kind of three at the back setup with Bartlett dropping in there before. Why is there? Why not start with that if that's something that is able to bring you guys success kind of in the middle of games or in the moments that you've switched to it? Because it does seem to bring a lot of opportunity for you guys when you go there in game.
Yeah, it's a decent assessment of that. However, we wanted to gain. You drop two midfielders instead of three, and you wanted to gain control of the midfield tonight. And going with two midfielders versus three in the second half in a very man-orientated way. What that solved in the game was their ability to play long diagonals, which were devastating for us in the first half. We weren't getting out to them with our outside backs, and for that matter, when they put five in the top line, it was very difficult to put them under a lot of pressure. We didn't drop our wings back. They weren't recovering well in the game, and so that forced us to bring another player through the back and allowed our outside backs to get more pressure on the ball. Obviously, second half turned in a very man-orientated way, helped us gain control of the game. It might be something that we have to think about in terms of how we start games, but it's a very high risk, obviously high reward, but high risk way to start games. But at this point, as we go into situations like this, something to think about as we risk things going forward.
Next question will go to Thad Bell with the Kansas City Soccer Journal. Thad, your line is open.
Hey, Coach. Sorry for the result. Kind of following up on Daniel's question, is some of that difference in the second half more, or at least partly, that the other team's dropping back a little bit because they have that lead compared to the changes you're making?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe part of it is a psychological that they have the advantage, but this is, as I said from the top, they're a good team, and they would gladly take possession of the ball through the second half, build up just like they did in the first half. But we were better in our duels. We were closer to players. We were winning the ball, and we were creating opportunities. So, we put them under pressure, and I don't think it was just the state of the game at that point. I thought we were good in the second half, and the guys who came on, Munoz, Ndembe, even Davis, I think they contributed to the game in a positive way and almost turned it in its favor. Ndembe had 2 great looks on goal, and I thought we were there at one point. So partially game state, but I wouldn't attribute all of it to that.
And you mentioned Davis. He always does seem to bring a lot of energy, but he's not been starting for a while now. Is that more a tactical thing, or just can you talk about that?
He's in his moment of coming into form. He needs minutes, he needs games, and there were other guys that were playing better than him at the time. But I have a lot of belief in him. Obviously, we know as a club what he can bring to the game. He's the guy that brings energy. And so as he's building his way back to form and fitness and 90 minutes capacity, he's going to see more playing time. But we also, we were thin at right back tonight. I thought Brody did a decent job in the game, but without Shelton, we needed that balance of having a right back who could also step in. And so Davis was playing in 2 different roles tonight, and fortunately Brody, played the full 90 minutes, and we were able to put Davis in the midfield.
Last question will go to Chad Smith with the Kansas City Soccer Journal. Chad, your line is open.
Coach, you talked to us a few weeks ago about wanting to find a way to get Sati Munoz in the starting lineup along with Dayon and Manu. Obviously, Manu wasn't available tonight, but have you made any progress in terms of that? We haven't seen it yet, but like Daniel referenced earlier, they look so good when they're on together. Is there a way to maybe start a game that way?
I think we're awfully close to seeing that start. He's obviously very impactful when he comes into the game, and we're just going to have to manipulate a few things in how we structure the group, both defensively and offensively. But there's no doubt when he gets in the attacking third, how he combines both with Decky, but also bringing other players into the game. He's knocking on the door, and I think we can all see he's not far away from being included in the starting lineup.